Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is so disgusting and so sad. The Biden administration has gotten so desperate. We now have 5-year-old kids in diapers shilling for Joe Biden. I am not kidding. I saw this. I was like, this is demented. This is evil to force a kid or have a kid, pay a kid, whatever you want to call it, to shill for you. And here he is right here. Stop voting third party. He's got, I mean, this is totally paid for. He's got the Biden Harris hat. It doesn't even fit him. And he's screaming about stop voting for third. This is just so sad to see, to go this far. I'm guessing like no one else will accept it. They can't get it. Why is like a 7-year-old shilling? You would think if you're talking about actually trying to convince people to vote for Biden, you would have older people do it. But I've never seen anything like this. Trump's never done anything like this. This is so demented. Was this Hunter's idea? This might have been a Hunter Biden strategy to have this kid come out and he's like 5 years old. Him and Biden are both in diapers. That's what they have in common. But like, what are we doing here? You've got a 7-year-old kid getting money from Biden to shill. The kid's not going to influence anyone. It's remarkable. And we've also got another huge story. We do have Democrats coming out and saying that they want illegals voting. It's all here. It's all admitted. I'm going to get to it. But it's just so sad. We've got this huge potential act. I think it's the SAFE Act that the Republicans are trying to pass. They won't pass it. All it's saying is to just, we need actual voter ID. We need people that are going to enforce it at the polls, and they won't pass it because they want illegals voting. So there's that. That's just shocking. And then we also do have, here it is, scoop. House Democratic leadership is bringing out the big guns against a Republican bill set to be voted on next week that would require proof of U.S. citizenship to vote in federal elections. That's according to Axios. And so this is why it's so ridiculous. And at this point, this confirms it. They do want illegals to vote. They've shipped in 30 million of them. And if they want to deny it, all the bill is saying, the SAFE Act, all it's saying is we need to make sure American citizens are voting in federal elections. That's it. There's nothing crazy about it. You need an ID. You need a passport. You need some form of identification to make sure you are legal in this country. We want American citizens to decide American elections. There's nothing shocking. There's nothing crazy. There's nothing, ridiculous Republican about this poll. It is literally just show me your ID, please. And they won't vote for it. And it's so bad. They're like having a panic attack. The leadership is bringing out the big guns to, oh my God, heaven forbid, American citizens vote in the presidential election, heaven forbid. And then they sit there and they try and still deny it. Why would you deny it at this point? They should come out and be like proud of it. Yeah, they want illegals voting. It's right here. It's right here. This is a bill to make sure that we get people in the country, we get American citizens voting in elections. It says it right here. We want American citizens voting. They don't want it. They're bringing out their big guns to stop it. So don't allow these people to sit here and gaslight and say, oh, illegals aren't voting. Well, then why is it that we're just saying, let's make everything clean. Let's make sure the people that are working at these polling places understand the people need to be legal. They need to have identification if they're not already registered. That's what needs to happen. And so they're pushing back against it. They're bringing out their big guns. It's so obvious and it's so sad to see. You do have Axios. Hell has no fury like a press corps. Yeah, so the press is just getting very angry, I guess. Journalists knew Biden was senile, gaslit the American public on the fact for years, and now want to play the outraged victim. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess. the lady, and it's Biden. Let me just say this as clear as I can. I'm the sitting president. I'm the nominee. Yeah, that's a great thing to tweet out 4 months before an election. That is DEFCON 1 worried. To say, oh, I am the president. If you got to say it, are you really? But yeah, that's just funny. What time does the deep state leak Joe's medical records? Well, they've already begun doing it. And I think I do have something saved to where it's like, they've met with an Alzheimer's doctor 7 or 8 times already. This goes back to last year. Now it's all being leaked because they want Biden out. So now they're pressuring Biden, leaking stuff little by little, and all of his medical records are probably going to come out relatively soon. They've already started it with the Alzheimer doctor, and so it's just making Biden look bad. And this is all likely leaked by Democrats. At this point, I do think most Republicans want Biden to remain in the race. Personally, whether it's Biden, Harris, it doesn't really matter as long as it's one of those two. I think Trump wins very easily either way. But I would imagine this is Democrats leaking this stuff out about the Alzheimer's, some of these records. They want people to know and really to put pressure on Biden to drop out, because his interviews, especially the ABC one, it's all such a charade. He's just in total denial. Like, he won't accept there are hundreds of polls that suggest you're going to lose by a lot, and he just says they're wrong. So you know what? Maybe they are, Joe. I think you should take your chances, and I guess we will see. It was Parkinson's, it wasn't Alzheimer's. You can see a neurologist who specializes in Parkinson's research was at the White House on their visitor logs since last year, and I guess these are all the times he visited there. It doesn't have a date on there, but it seems like a lot of times, and people are leaking this out now. You can see him right there. So obviously they're trying to leak out, Biden and make him unelectable, basically forcing him to drop out. At least 9 visits to the White House's private medical center by a neurologist who specializes in researching and treating Parkinson's since last July. And the team of reporters who cover the White House either didn't know it or didn't report it. Yeah, I mean, the journalism, obviously they're all, most of the people in there are liberal. They're not going to report it because it makes Biden look bad. And there was this weird idea before the debate where they were like, Biden's fine, it's really Trump. People are actually arguing that Trump was more cognitively declined. If you know what's going on, nobody bought that. It was totally absurd. You just look at Trump and you look at Biden. That's why they say, oh, but Trump's 78, Biden's 81. And then I would tell them, yeah, but it needs context. Trump looks amazing for 78. He's in phenomenal shape. He's very healthy. Biden, on the other hand, he's actually gained about 20 pounds, okay? If you saw him go to Camp David or back from Camp David, he's got a big gut now. And then obviously you watch him during the debate, he can't talk. Trump looks miles better, and now you can't even argue it. So isn't it funny how this stuff has to be unearthed through a debate? They can't just cover it honestly and admit that Biden's a total vegetable. These people, they're so dishonest, and a lot of these reporters, the White House reporters, they went with the narrative that Biden's fine. It's the big bad evil conservatives that are the ones behind all of these potential leaks about Biden's health and things like that. So what's really going on here, I do think they are putting pressure on Biden. 9 visits from, this would not be happening if Biden performed well in the debate. I can guarantee you that. Holy smokes, Biden camp has been pointing to the local radio interviews. Oh yeah, so the radio interview, this is like the big thing they were talking about. Biden's doing all these interviews, he's doing all these rallies. Well, they were given the questions, the radio hosts were given the questions by the White House, and they had to pick 4 questions, and that's what they were explaining in that interview. So Biden's given all these softballs. He goes on these radio shows. The White House is saying, you ask these questions and these questions only. So it's just all a charade. It's a joke. But honestly, it doesn't even matter if Biden does an amazing interview, on the radio. Nobody cares about that. You have to be on TV anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Biden says, I'm the guy who shut down. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it when it comes to this update. They seem to be totally turning on Biden. Biden is getting desperate. His campaign now, he's got like 3-year-old kids dressed up in all this Biden garb. This should not be happening. This is just malpractice. You don't bring like 2-year-old kids into it and have them shill for you. But this is the desperation. They probably couldn't get anyone else to do it, so they got to get, a young kid to do it. And I'm sure, his mom's being paid, whatever, why else would he be doing this? He's literally reading from a script, talking about you can't vote third party, look at what happened, Supreme Court, it's clear it's a script. So it's very, very sad what's going on. And when it comes to Biden, I think we're going to see leak after leak after leak after leak when it comes to his medical history, when it comes to, this has got to be so easy for the Democrats to get this guy out. Seriously, there's so much, there has to be so much there when it comes to his real medical history. He's saying he won't take a cognitive test. He knows he'll perform terribly on it. Really, all they have to do is get him to take a cognitive test, and that's it, and he'll be gone, and he'll step down. And they don't want it to be a stain on their party, although it already is, and they know that. That's why they tried jamming him through. It's like fitting a square peg into a round hole. They thought they could skate Biden by, and immediately during the debate, right at the start, you've got the big donors calling CNN saying, no, 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 you changed the narrative immediately, because they still tried to argue that Biden won on substance. Of course, that's false. That's a false narrative that they tried to cope with by creating this thing where it's like, oh, I admit Biden was bad at the beginning, but he won on substance. He didn't win on anything. He couldn't talk, okay? And so now we all see it, we realize it, and CNN's done a complete 180. They're every single day, they're putting pressure on Biden. They're saying he needs to step down. I think there was some other thing that was on here. This is getting almost surreal now. A senior White House official, though unnamed, is telling the New York Times Biden should stand aside. So this is another anonymous source talking to the New York Times. All of the media is putting pressure on Biden to step down. That's what they want. If they have to use the 25th, it's a bad look on their party. But again, it's already a bad look on their party. I already called this back in 2020 when I said it was a charade. There's no way Biden could last 4 years. And now a lot of these journalists and also, the vice president, other people within this administration, we now realize, and we knew this, but now it's confirmed, they've been lying to us for months, very likely years, multiple years, that Biden is fine and that he's doing his job. He's clearly not capable. He has not been capable for a while now. They've hit him. CNN admits Biden doesn't talk at all. It's record low in terms of the amount of time he's available to the public. This has all come out now, and it's all exposed. So Biden's going to have to drop out. There's too much pressure, I think. If he does somehow remain, I guess there's going to be some spin, but it seems like CNN and the narrative's already in too deep where they've got to get him out and they have got to get him replaced. And now you see like Parkinson's leaks. You see all these different things coming out about Biden, his health. I'm sure they're going to put big pressure on it. And then next week, it seems like people in the Senate meeting, talking about the next strategy when it comes to trying to get Biden out. But either way, guys, it is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.